I often hear parents say to children, "You should know better." And it angers me. Is it that parents think children are secretly planning? How can I disappoint or disobey my parents today? The child's action is actually information. Today's topic: you should know better, the hidden psychological harm. Welcome back to the channel where truth is spoken, healing is honored, and growth is the mission. Welcome to Family Focused, the Healing the Roots movement. Today we're breaking down a phrase so many of us heard growing up and so many parents are still using today. You should know better. On the surface, it sounds simple, but psychologically, it carries a weight many adults still feel to this day. Growing up, I heard this phrase a lot, and even now, as a grown woman, I cannot recall the exact situations, but I do remember the feeling.
Confusion.
Confusion that somehow I was expected to already know something no one had ever taught me. Confusion because I was being treated like I had adult awareness in a child's body. Confusion because the message was not, "Let me guide you." It was, "You failed. You disappointed me. You didn't meet my invisible standards." And I see it today. Parents saying the same thing to their children with that same tone of frustration, disappointment, or disbelief. But let's explore what's actually happening underneath that phrase. The psychological reality for the child. When a child hears, "You should know better," here's the internal experience. Wait, what did I do wrong? I thought I was doing the right thing. I must be a problem. I can't make mistakes. I cannot trust myself. Because for a child, mistakes are not signs of disobedience. Mistakes are evidence of development. Children learn through trial, error, repetition, feedback, modeling, and age-appropriate guidance. So when a parent says, "You should know better," the child doesn't hear guidance, they hear shame. And chronic shame in childhood often becomes people-pleasing, hypervigilance, fear of failure, emotional shutdown, perfectionism, anxiety around authority, over-apologizing, difficulty saying no, and believing deep down that there is something inherently wrong with them. This is not discipline. This is emotional burdening. The child internalizes a standard that even adults struggle to meet. I should already know things I've never been taught. Let's look at the psychological reality for the parent. Most parents who say this do not mean harm. They're usually expressing three things: frustration because life is heavy, they're tired, overwhelmed, and stretched thin. Projection, they're reliving their own childhood where they were told the same thing, and they're simply repeating the parenting that was modeled for them. Misunderstanding of child development. Most parents genuinely do not realize that emotional maturity, impulse control, and decision-making skills develop gradually and require coaching, not condemnation. To a parent, "You should know better" feels like a reasonable correction, but to the child, it feels like an accusation. Parents often mean, "You've done this before, so I expected better," which is reasonable. But the child hears, "You have failed at something you should have mastered." There's a gulf between intention and impact. The core problem: expecting emotional maturity beyond a child's age. Children do not have fully developed impulse control, mature emotional regulation, critical reasoning skills, long-term consequence planning. Even up to this day, I still don't have that because their brains are still growing. And the part that manages all of those abilities, the prefrontal cortex, is not fully developed until age 25. So expecting a child to know better is essentially expecting them to have an adult brain. And that expectation does harm. Not because the parent is cruel, but because the expectation is unrealistic. A better way forward, what to say instead. Here's what creates safety, emotional learning, and growth. Let's talk about what happened. Here's why that wasn't okay. Next time, try this instead. You're still learning. I'm here to guide you. Let's fix this together. Mistakes are part of growing. Let's learn from it. Correction without shame creates confident children. Shame without guidance creates wounded adults. And to my parents, your children are not miniature adults. They are learners. Constant, curious, imperfect learners. Guidance is not weakness. Patience is not permissiveness. Teaching is not spoiling. Your role is not to defend perfection. It is to cultivate growth. Every mistake is a moment to guide, not to guilt. Speak to the child you have, not the adult you wish they were. And to children living this right now, if you are hearing, you should know better in your home. I want you to understand something clearly. You are not the problem. You are not wrong for learning. You are not wrong for being a child. You are not wrong for making mistakes. The adults in your life may be doing their best, but their best may not be what you need emotionally. You are allowed to grow at your own pace. You are allowed to learn. You are allowed to be human. And one day you will know better, not because someone shamed you, but because someone guided you. In closing, if this message hit home, it's not because you're broken. It's because you're waking up. And healing begins where awareness starts. If this helped you, like, share, and subscribe. And let's keep healing one truth at a time. Healing the nation, one child at a time. If you'd like to dive deeper on your own, my Amazon book recommendations are listed in the caption.